There are two reasons we are here today. We can sit here and do this. One is this is our constitutional right. And the other one is we have a damn good sheriff. And with that, I would like to invite Sheriff Adam Fourtney to come and say a few words.
Thank you guys so much. All of your support is greatly appreciated. I've got some good news for you today. I'm not giving a political speech and it's going to be very short, so how about that? I'm plain spoken. I say what I mean. As you can see, you might have heard a few weeks back I said a couple things that have now been deemed controversial, and I have no idea why talking about constitutional rights have been deemed controversial in this day and age. I don't understand it. Clearly, you guys understand it because you're here today on a weekend. Thank you for taking your time out of Memorial Day weekend and being here today. Your support is awesome. I'm going to be really quick. I'm going to give a shout out to my daughter who's serving overseas in the Army today. This Memorial Day weekend has a whole different meaning for me with her being over there. So thank you for everybody who's served and done their tours. The other thing, I've sworn a lot of people in when we talk about an oath. I heard Vincent Cavallari talk about the oath when he kicked this off. It's extremely important. I swore 5 new kids in right up there on the 4th floor on Monday to 5 new deputy sheriffs. Honestly, things move really quick just throughout the day. You don't have a whole lot of time to plan for the next event. And I gotta tell you, when I picked up that oath, I'm looking at these new kids, I'm like, raise your right hand. It had a whole new meaning for me. I had to give a pause for just a second. And because now we've been talking about this, we are actually seeing our rights suspended to a certain extent. We can't go to church on Sunday. What is going on in our country? And so we did that oath, and then I said a few words to just the close friends and family that were in there for the kids that were getting sworn in. And I got to tell you, it had a whole different meaning. Never have I been in my life been in a situation where we're at right now. And just the oath should mean something. And it should not be controversial to get up and talk about constitutional rights at this moment in time. Well, I told you I'm going to be quick. I'm going to live up to that. If you hadn't heard, well, I'm not running for office, but I may have to fight against a recall. So that's going on. So I'm going to be kind of switching from, I just took office January 1st, but we're going to go right back into campaign mode, if you will, a little bit, starting next week. Your guys' help, your support, your very gracious welcome today. I appreciate every bit of it. I will stay out there fighting. If you can help me along the way, along the next few months, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, thank you for coming out. Again, like I said, my dream was to open a gym. When I got out of the Marine Corps, 23 years old, I bought my first gym, and now I have 3. And all I wanted to do was help people get healthy, and that right's been taken away. And I want to give people, I want you guys to understand what the cost is in dollars. This is just for one gym. So shut down until this order comes, if we even ever make it to phase 3 under this system. But assuming we open under phase 3, it's going to be $132,000. That's the dollars. Bill with no revenue in. That's one. That's one gym. There is not one piece of legislation that abdicates us from our leases, that abdicates us from our insurance, from our utilities. We also have to pay commercial property tax for businesses we cannot have access to. We also have to pay for business licenses we cannot use.
Yeah, where's our answers?
So for the 90 days this is scheduled to shut down, explain to me how you would pay your bills if your job was taken from you, but you still were liable for your mortgage, your insurance, your car payment, your health insurance, everything you spend your money on.
Everything you
That's the
mortgaged
exact
to open
position
your
he's
business.
put every single business owner in. And so we've tried to contact him, the AG, the Department of Health. We've tried to contact the governor. No one's responded to us. So we filed a lawsuit, and we filed that. So we filed that lawsuit directly under an emergency order directly to the Washington State Supreme Court to try to strike down the entire stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
So I also want you guys to know We took $10,000 out of our own pocket with all of us that have businesses shut down.
Yeah, boo.
So I looked at it like, yeah, we can do the GoFundMe account, which we've done, but that's going to take however many more days for that to get the funding. We got to start now.
Yeah.
So we did it out of our own money. And so I also want to ask if there's anybody else out there in the audience that is a small business owner that's been affected by this order, and you're interested in becoming a plaintiff on this class action suit, please visit us down there. It would be greatly appreciated. People need to understand how dangerous this is. This is literally shutting down businesses that have been operating for decades. People's whole life savings are vested in these businesses. And there's a lot of businesses that flat out, they're not going to make it.
No.
They're going to be done. So we need to do something about that. And thank you.
So I'm Chris Leyba. I'm going to keep this very short since we're all on the clock. I'm going to tell you today about an employee all of you have that you probably don't know you have, and how much power that employee actually has for you that you probably had no idea about. Does anybody here actually know what the State Auditor does? Well, see, the State Auditor has been a one-party office since 1933, so I'm not surprised. That being said, your State Auditor has a very unique role. The legislature, a couple of them are here today. They're the ones that are writing your laws, that are helping to pass your budget, stuff like that. Your governor locks you down and kills your business. Your auditor has another unique function, though. Your auditor is the one that looks into how all of your government agencies, county, local, state, all of them, are using your money, and whether they're being corrupt when they use your money. In addition to that, in 2005, you all passed a law that gave this office the power to not only do that, but to go into these places and say, are they using your money wisely, or are they wasting it? Now the problem is, you have a current state auditor, might be a nice lady. She's a 33-year politician. She's actually been in office longer than I've been alive. Multi-millionaire, I don't really know how that happens because I've checked the salary. But not really a lot of balance with how she's going in and evaluating the waste in our agencies. Not really evaluating how a Nigerian prince scam can take $100 million out of our unemployment system. Not evaluating how ST3 can spend $1 million on a party to open the University of Washington transit station. That's the kind of stuff the auditor might want to look at. If you elect me to do that, we're going to do this on day one. I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to address all 400 members of this office who will work for me around the state. And I'm going to tell them from now on, you're not auditing as Democrats, and you're not auditing as Republicans. You're auditing for your bosses, which are all of you. And as long as you do that, we're going to go out there and we're going to find all this stuff and we're going to make it better. We really do need somebody in there that puts W first. Not R, not a D, W. And I believe I'm going to be that person for you. So I really encourage you. My name is, again, Chris Leyba. I'm at www.leybaAudits.com. We have 2 Democrats in the race, 1 Republican. I'm your Republican. All I will say about your incumbent is this. If you go to her website, her campaign slogan is, I am a voice in Olympia for the 253. How many of you are in the 253? That's not acceptable for a state office. I represent Pandoroy County, I represent Clark County, I represent Snow County, I represent where I live in Pierce, period. And that's the way it's going to be in 2021. Thank you.
You know, I told you guys that I'm from Pakistan. What this reminds me of, a law over there in Pakistan that is called the blasphemy law. And that is, if you say anything against Islam or you say anything against their prophet, you can be put to death. And before that even happens, there's mob mentality, so 500 people are going to show up and kill you anyways. And that gets used every day to persecute minorities. And this whole shutdown reminds me of that. If you open your business, we are going to come and get you. They are releasing prisoners and they are putting these business owners in there. That is not fair. That is not the America I came for. The America I came for has freedom, has rights, and that is what we are going to stand for.
Hello, everyone. I'm a member of the Libertarian Party, not quite Republican Party, but we're pretty much the same.
I didn't see her there.
That's what really matters.
Oh, no worries.
Economic ignorance already destroyed my native Cuba. I'm very thankful I was able to come here in a country that is free, and I want to say a few things about freedom. It is your freedom to trade your private property with whoever you want, with whatever company you want in the entire world, that inadvertently motivates every company to innovate and to copy the innovations of others. And that is what creates the knowledge that coordinates all of society. If Tokyo, Japan, if Honda comes up with power door locks, it is your freedom to buy their car that motivates BMW and Ford and Chevy and Audi to also copy that information. So, it is from your freedom to choose that we get competition, which is what creates the knowledge that coordinates the entire world. Okay? And as products, as companies get more productive, things get cheaper and cheaper, which makes it easier to innovate. There was a time when computers were very expensive, but their price came down and it became easier to realize that you can put them in every home, right? Freedom and competition also shapes our morals, right? It is the hardworking, courteous person who shows up in time, who treats everyone with respect, that forces everyone else to be likewise. So freedom, as opposed to leading to chaos and social injustice, as the liberals, just claim all the time, is what leads to prosperity, is what leads to order and civilization. Also, our freedom, companies that can't compete as well, they don't make us much money because we don't give them our money. And that company eventually can't pay its employees enough. And what do? We leave. We use our freedom to leave one job and to go to the better informed companies. So that too is part of the competitive process that reorders society. So, what made America great was freedom. Not government experts, not a competitionless, monopolistic, coercive bureaucracy by experts. The Soviet Union had plenty of experts and scientists, so did Cuba. So let us understand economics and fight for freedom. Thank you. Sorry. And please visit Vote Besada to just help spread an understanding of economics to fellow men.
Hey, I'm really excited to see this crowd. Last time there were about 300 plus people, but the news media said a few dozen. I hope they do not say stuff like that again, because I see this place full of people. If they see 2 dozen people, they need to get their eyes checked. And maybe there is a place open. Maybe there is a place open that would check the eyes for them. A small business, maybe. Dr. Skidmore.
Thank you very much. You don't see a lot of doctors in places like this. Quite honestly, most of my friends and colleagues in medicine and psychology and in the university are leaning on the liberal end of the spectrum. But there's a lot of docs who have gone out of business, especially if they're small. I work in rehabilitation medicine with people who've been injured. So I work with a lot of folks who work in the blue-collar fields, amputations, stab wounds, severe burns, broken backs, crushed hips, and help them rebuild their lives. But I'm non-essential.
Wow.
I also am probably I might be the psychologist who sees the most first responders with PTSD combined with serious injuries. I'm non-essential. I did get to open, thank goodness, this Monday after being shut down because I was able to get one of the small business loans. A week before that, I was thinking we were going to go bankrupt. Not everybody working with me will come back. So it's affected a whole range of folks. And I just wanted to kind of let you know that. Also because before I opened a small private practice here in Everett, up on record. I was in research, both in research psychology and medicine, and I do want to say I appreciate the seriousness of the coronavirus, but I also want to give you both a positive and a negative aspect about it. You don't know who to believe, of course. Different docs say different things. But I'm right, so here you go. This is, of course, a flu-like virus, as was said not to be. We know it's SARS-CoV-2 now, and that's a bad thing. A lot of people get sick, and some people die because of it. But we began with this idea of flattening the curve for the sake of resources. What you're hearing now from Inslee, stay home, save lives, is rubbish. The sad news is, when we open up, there will of course be more people getting it. You're not going to find when you come out, you're not going to get it. You, your family, your kids, your grandparents, all of us will be exposed to it. Period. It's just a matter of time. So be wise, but don't think that if you hide long enough in a cave that the COVID boogeyman will move to Mars and you won't get it. So you will get it. But like any other respiratory illness, most of you will barely notice it, or you'll have a couple bad days or a couple bad weeks. So give up on the fear.
Thank you.
And see this like any other respiratory illness. Follow wise and careful health practices, but don't think of this as the boogeyman. We've overcome this because we're human, we're good, and we have a fortunate to have a good healthcare system, good immune systems. Keep up your immune system.
Yes.
Go out and run, eat good, get a lot of breath, keep your lungs strong.
Yes.
This will be overcome. But stop with the fear.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Thank you for letting me share a perspective. God bless you all. I do want to say just one quick short thing. I'm grateful for the leaders and some of the people I've heard here. I'm thinking, thank God we could probably have a state that will turn around. I come from parents who were lifelong military. My son's in combat rescue. And my son works for our local sheriff. So these are good people. God bless them all, and God bless you, and thank you very much.
I'd say it's a great crowd. I've been to a few of these now. Prosser, Yakima, Spokane, Olympia, now here. This is a great turnout. Thank you all for being here today. So my name is Bret Rodgers. I'm running for Washington State Attorney General. I got into this race a little over a year ago when I could no longer sit by and watch what Bob Ferguson was doing to our state, not knowing what was coming this year. So, our big problem right now is Jay Inslee. Yes. And I don't think he cares about the damage he's doing to our state, and I'll tell you why. All the businesses that are failing, all the people that are not able to access preventative health care, when they turn around and sue the state and they win, where does that money come from? It comes from all of us. It doesn't come out of Inslee's pocket. If Inslee is successful in bankrupting our state and the feds bail us out, where does that money come from? It comes from all of us. Governor Inslee needs to recognize that he has some skin in the game. I've got 20 years of law enforcement, 7 years of conducting internal investigations for government agencies. If I'm elected, I pledge that I will investigate every aspect of Washington State's COVID response. From doctors falsifying death certificates, hospital administrators falsely counting people as COVID patients to get federal funds. Where the heck are hundreds of millions of dollars gone to Nigerians when we've got people here that are waiting for unemployment compensation? Everybody. Nobody will be spared, up to and including Jay Inslee. Now, unlike the National Democrats, I'm not going to pre-assume anything. There'll be fair investigations, but if I find out that misconduct has occurred, that crimes have been committed, those people will be held accountable regardless of who they are. candidate for Attorney General making this pledge, just so you know. So, with that, I'll wrap it up. My name is Bret Rodgers. Go to BretRodgers4AG.com. I want to represent all of you, not the government bureaucracy. Thank you.
Young children as well. You know, I've been in the media as times and have been maligned and lied about even by my opponents from time to time, and politics is vicious, and that's heartbreaking. You know, as a Republican, I live by a Reagan principle. That means don't malign your Republican opponents. We have one opponent, and for me, that's Jay Inslee. So I just took Jay Inslee to court to fight for our religious liberties, and we won. For sure. So it's time to open up our churches, and we have a president who believes we need to open up as well. You know, so we have seen the pot stores allowed to be open. We've seen the liquor stores allowed to be open. You can go meet with your stock advisor or anyone else to cure your anxieties. But we all know that the truth is we need to go to God to cure those anxieties. And so I've been focusing for the last couple of weeks on that. I just got off Zoom with 900 pastors. On Thursday, I've probably communicated to 1,500 pastors across our state that are ready to open their churches. And so we're going to start Go Back. It's good news. But our battle is not yet won, is it? We are moving toward November 3rd, and it's going to take an army of people coming together, making sure that we are united as one party. Because the Democrats want nothing more than us to be divided. So my hope is that you reach out to your candidate. If I am your candidate, I appreciate your support. If your candidate is one of the other ones running, ask them to keep it clean. Ask them to keep it proper, because that's what we need to do. Well, so I'm focused really quick. We have 1 minute left. So let me get to my issues. Really quick, I'm focused on the rise of crime here in Washington State. Under Jay Inslee, we've seen murder increase by 41%. We've seen rape increase by 65%. And of course, we know that during this time, he's let go 950 prisoners out of jail while you're under house arrest. So we're going to turn that around. We're going to make sure that we enforce the laws in Washington State. We're going to turn around the drug culture that's victimizing so many of us and making our neighborhoods less safe. And today, Jay Inslee has made Washington State a sanctuary state. Do you know by doing so, he's actually made this a hotbed for the sex trade? That means 18-year-old kids and younger. Average age 12-year-old boys and girls as young as 5 and 6-year-old. It all ties into the agenda. Comprehensive sex education passed at 2 in the morning. Please sign Referendum 90. I am a co-sponsor. My wife, Lindy, who's up and back. We are lead contributors to that. But 10 more seconds. Lindy and I were married in that church right there. My mother-in-law is here, and my father-in-law, Mike, was an attorney here in Everett for years. I'm joined with my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and my 5 kids, Caleb, Emily, Janie, Simon, and Levi, are all here. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and may He make His face shine upon you. Let's move forward.
Hi, I'm the other Adam here today. Hey everybody, I don't have any signs prepared, and that's because I just signed up to run for State Representative Seat 1, Position 1, the day that we were cutting off the deadline for filing. And that's because I got the call from Debbie after filing to become a precinct committee officer in my precinct, and I found out that there was a one of our representatives running unchallenged, and she had been appointed to the seat. So I just couldn't let that happen. You know, thank you. Again, my name is Adam Bartholomew from the 1st District, Seat 1. I've got a website made, domain reserved. I don't have a website made. My 12-year-old's working on that for me. He decided to step up when he heard that I was running. I really appreciate it. But back on March 24th, or the end of March, we all decided to shut down when we were asked to. We all did the right thing to flatten the curve. And now here we are 2 months later. We found out after a month, after the 2-week lockdown, we found out a month later that Jay Inslee was putting together a board to discuss the reopening of our state economy. After a month, he was just finally getting around to it. And initially we were told this was a 2-week shutdown. And then it turned into a month, and now here we are 2 months later. You know, it's funny, I just saw my name in the first newspaper I'd ever seen. It wasn't really a newspaper, it was one of our local publications here, shall go unnamed, and they list all of the candidates that have filed, but they list all of the Republican candidates, and then they list all of the Democratic candidates. There's no Democrats running for office, guys. They're all Democratic, if you didn't know. And I thought that was pretty funny. I thought it was, not only is it really telling to the bias of our local newspaper, no longer do you have to go check their Twitter account or their Facebook profile to see their biases. You can just see it right in the article now. But I found that really funny because Jay Inslee had joined a PAC to discuss and make decisions on reopening our state. A PAC that is led by Gavin Newsom and a bunch of people in California. Whatever happened to the people of Washington deciding our own destiny? That doesn't seem very democratic, if you ask me. Very similar situation going on with our sex ed bill that was just passed, like Joshua Freed mentioned at 2 in the morning. How disgusting is that? And I've been reading a lot of this stuff since I decided to run, and I actually read that bill, and it turns out that Jay Inslee wants to teach 4th graders on up about consenting sexual relationships. Why is Jay Inslee taking these directives from a bunch of people that aren't even in our state? These kinds of issues should be best left to the school districts and the parents that are in those school districts. They're signing up for all these new regulations at 2 in the morning, and all the parents, all the working families are asleep.
And the ped.
Doesn't seem very democratic, if you ask me. You know, President Trump just came out and announced that going to church is now considered essential. Just announced. I thought that happened in 1776. And apparently, if you're Jay Inslee responded and said no, he's not going to open churches. But if you're a Rastafarian, you can still go to church. It's okay. Anyway, guys, I got to wrap it up. I didn't have a speech planned here. My website's not made yet. I don't have any of these signs, but everybody's going to need to take action. You're all going to have to step up. You're going to have to go support your local representatives. You're going to have to take every action you can, no matter how big or small, even if that's just sharing something on Facebook, getting somebody else to come to this rally. Please look up go to voter.wa.gov and find out who your representatives are, your candidates in your district, and find them and support them, please. Thank you.
Everybody's been such a great speaker, and they're all here to protect your rights. And I'm a small business owner. I own Athenas Oasis up on Colby. I see about 5 people a day. And I'm being told that I have to shut down because I'm more dangerous than Home Depot. So, when you go to Home Depot, how many people
500
follow behind you and clean up after you? Do they clean up the boxes that you put back? No. No, they don't clean up even when you puked on them or something. I don't know. So, I just wanted to give you guys a couple of pieces of information that I'm getting as a small business owner that stayed open. I've now gotten my 2nd cease and desist order from the Snohomish Health Department. Thank you. I was going to rip it up, and then I decided I should probably frame it. So essentially, the Snohomish Health District has ordered me to cease and desist all spa activities and services. Here's the kicker. Hosting any gathering at this site of business or any other location. So not only am I not allowed to have a spa open, I'm not allowed to have a gathering anywhere in Snohomish. I don't know about you, but my First Amendment feels like it just got sat on. So, just real quick. You all have a salon out there that you love. You have a cosmetologist or an esthetician or a nail person. And they are all out there raring to get back to work, and some of them have already done it under the table. I'm doing this loud and proud because I have the support of my family, and I have the support of our sheriff. And if it wasn't for my dad, retired Lieutenant Commander Peter McDonald, I would not be up here. He's definitely made it so that I feel I can come out here. He's over the age of 65, so he's definitely in the danger zone for COVID. But he's encouraging me to be out here, so I'm sure a lot of other people who don't have a voice are encouraging their family members to be out there too. but just real quick. I have 750 hours of training as an esthetician. 150 of that is in safety and sanitation. To get my license, I have to show them that I can sanitize my hands 55 times in an hour.
More.
Essentially, every time we do something, we have to sanitize our hands. That's how you get your license. And it's a joke. It's a joke to all of us, but we do it because we have to have a license to work. So you're looking at somebody who has 150 hours of safety and sanitation training, who sees 5 people a day, being told that I am less safe than every other essential business out there. So get in touch with your people. Tell them that you want to see them. Tell them you understand if they want you to wear a mask, or if they don't care if you wear one. Tell them that you are supporting them and that you want them to come back. And tell them that if enough of us do this, then we can't be gotten for unfair business practices because we'll all be open. So they're coming up with 6 more pages of guidelines for spas. 6 pages of guidelines. One of which is we have to have a COVID plan. And we have to have a COVID supervisor. Whatever that means. I have to test you to see if you're hot or not when you get there. God forbid it's 90 degrees out. So, just look at... Huh? Okay, I'm done. But I'm going to stay open until I don't have a choice anymore. And I encourage you, thank you, I encourage you to talk to your people and get them back working, because with your support, and they know that you're out here supporting them, they'll be more likely to open. Thank you.
All right, so I think all of you will be very pleased I'm running, because I'm running nonpartisan. The Constitution of Washington State does not allow us to force somebody to pick a party when they run. So this is great news. I can run nonpartisan, and I have. This is my 4th time running, and that's okay, because you know what? I've checked out so many elected officials' records, and so many of them have actually run multiple times for multiple positions in their life, and eventually they actually hit a home run and get in. So I have a lot of hope. I'm going to bring a lot of hope to people in the 32nd District, which is actually from North Seattle, swinging up to Shoreline, to Edmonds, and then to part of Linwood. So I've already been out there campaigning, and I'm very happy to say that I am actually a small business owner, and I recognize there are so many small business owners in the 32nd and across the state. However, they have been hurt tremendously. And I want to throw this in because a lot of people I've spoke to in the district already, they might understand there's closed businesses, and it might have affected them if they can't go to the salon, or if they can't get their nails done, or if they can't do whatever they want to do that's pretty normal. And I sympathize with these people, because unfortunately there's so many that have chosen to really live in fear. And it's okay if people want to wear a mask. It's okay if people want to stay home. It's okay if they want to distance. But some of these people you talk to just in the grocery line, or you just pull by in their neighborhood where they're mowing the lawn, and you just say hi, and you know, why are you wearing the mask? And you don't want to be intimidating them or mocking them, but maybe I just have a knack to get along with a bunch of people. But eventually a lot of folks will say, well, they tell us to. They tell us to do that. And again, we have to respect everyone out there. Everyone's getting their information from somewhere. Either they're relying on their religious perspectives, or they're relying on the news, they're relying on their parents, their family, their friends, Facebook. But all I could say is we have to keep reaching out to others, and respectfully. And that's the only way we're really going to get through with this, because honestly, there's like 10% of us, I think, around this country that are willing to get up and do something like us. We're here, people are running, people post on Facebook, they might not show up to a rally, but they'll do something. But there's not very many that are willing to have the guts to get out there. So I commend you, and I commend all our elected officials that have actually stepped out and put their neck on the line. I have actually looked up what the city of Linwood had sent Governor Inslee as far as basically pleading that small businesses open, and that took some guts. And we really need to support our public officials and encourage them. If they've already taken that first step, thank you very much. If they haven't taken that first step, just kindly leave a message. You don't even have to talk to them. Just leave a message on off hours and let them know you're concerned and you hope that they really do the right thing. So I'll leave it at that. I'm Tamra Smilanich, running for the 32nd District, nonpartisan, and thank you very much for your support.
It's my honor to end this here today. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully I'm going to say a few things that haven't already been said. I really want to reiterate what Anita said, and that is, why is it that our governor, our attorney general, and other electeds in this state are prosecuting and going after small business owners, and yet dangerous felons are out on the streets committing crimes again? I mean, this is crazy. Why is it that we, the people, are tolerating this? We, the people, need to say enough. And this should not be a Democrat versus Republican issue. Everybody should be concerned about what's going on, just like we should all be concerned about this shutdown and the negative impacts it's having on our economy. 20% unemployment right now, probably likely to go higher. Small businesses like myself, we're being crushed, and yet it's okay for people to go pack into Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. It's okay for Amazon and all the other large companies out there, Facebook, to have record profits during this time, and small business is getting crushed. So what I'm going to ask you all to do today is, yes, it's important to be here today, but more importantly, the leaders in this county are in that building behind us on the 8th floor. While they're making decisions that are crushing all of our livelihoods, they're still getting a paycheck that we are paying for. So I just learned on Friday that the county health officer, who has, based on state law, has lots of latitude to control our lives, is advising the county electeds, including Dave Summers, our executive, to keep the county shut past June 1st. We need to say no to that, and so I want you all to email, call. Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock is the weekly hearing, not hearing, but meeting, and so you have an opportunity to get on Zoom and to make a public comment. I want you all week long, to be calling all of these representatives. In fact, where are they today? I don't see any of them here. You know, and it's not that they're bad people, I don't think, but I think that I think that, you know, and I was a former elected official too. I was on the Linwood City Council for 4 years, so I kind of understand what they're going through to a certain degree. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to go against the experts and reopen too early and possibly have more infections. But I think more important than new infections is our hospitals are empty. They have plenty of capacity. In fact, they're laying off thousands of people. And our big businesses still flourish while the rest of us might lose our livelihoods, which means our homes, everything we've worked for, while they sit up there on their little pedestal getting paid hundreds, 100,000 plus salaries, every single one of them, and many people are out of work, or their businesses are destroyed, or they've had the courage to stand up and open without permission, and now they're being prosecuted while felons are recommitting on the streets every day. This is wrong. So we need to hold those people accountable and let them know what we want. Right. And that is, it's safe. If it's safe enough to go into Home Depot, Lowe's, all those other big box stores, Why can't they come into my restaurants where we are experts in sanitation and protecting people? This is what we do. So enough is enough, and we need to draw the line right now. So thank you all again for coming today. This is really inspiring, but we also need to take action. And please, share this with all of your friends and your family, because we need to get more people who, I think a lot of them are thinking the same thing, but they're still not motivated yet to take action. They might still have a job, but for how much longer? I mean, the state unemployment insurance system is going to run out of money here in about 60 days. So what are all these people going to do? I mean, our food banks are packed. People are lining up for food. So we need to get people back to work, and we can get people back to work safely. We need to stop this insanity. So thank you. I hope to see you all at Lombardi's later.
Well, let's talk about why we're here. We're here to get Washington back working again. Let's get us back working again. Because we did all the right things. You followed the rules. We bent the curve. We met the goal that was stated. And then the goalpost moved. And it's hurting all of us. It's really hurting us. I want to talk about, I say I represent you, but you know what? I haven't been representing you lately. I haven't been representing you because the governor has taken the legislature out of the equation. We've sent the governor no less than 14 letters specifying ways he can help bring the economy back, things he can do to loosen up on all of us, return our rights to us. We've gotten back one response, and it was to the negative. One response. So your voice has been lost because the legislature's voice has been lost, and we directly speak for you. That has got to end. Our party has brought back a plan to get Washington working again. We want to go into special session on 1 June, and we've laid out a plan. I think you should go look at it, to bring our businesses back online, to bring our people's lives back to normal. But one of the very first things we need to do is correct an error we made. And I was part of that error, I'll admit it. We passed a bill giving the governor emergency powers because we thought, well, we're not going to have a war. We're going to expand this to things like volcanic action or floods or a tsunami. Makes sense, right? It only makes sense when you don't have a tyrant taking advantage of it. And we have to go back and fix that legislation. And I think we're going to have bipartisan support to take away the things that we've given Governor Inslee that he has misused so badly. And I thank you for your time, and I hope that you'll vote for me and bring me back to
Here a bunch. We've been all over the 2nd Congressional District getting this stuff done since January. And it needs to get done. There's no way that we can let the status quo continue. So, since most of you already know who I am, I'm going to say it one more time just in case. Tim Hazelo for 2nd Congressional District. www.timhazeloforcongress.com. Check me out, go to my site, and let's get this done. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is push for term limits. So, let's talk about it for one quick second. I'm going to get on to the next thing. Because it's time we start talking about the issues. You know what? Don't tell me about the labor pain. Show me the baby. Right? That's what I'm talking about. So, term limits. There was a recent poll out, and 70% of America is for term limits. 70%. Is that just us? No. That's liberals, that's Democrats, that's independents, that's Republicans. 70%. So can we do that? Should we do that? Yeah, so how long has Nancy Pelosi been in office? Anybody remember that far back? It doesn't happen. And then we have absent Rick Larson, right? Absent Rick's been there for 20 years. When was the last time you heard from him out of campaign season? Right? So we got to get rid of that guy. And we got to start working on our health system a little bit. They screwed it up so bad over the last 2 or 3 months. We have the best healthcare system in the entire world, bar none. She was just talking about being from a third world country. I've been to 50 plus countries in my military career. And I'm telling you right now, nobody has this good as we do, especially the ones with socialized medicine. We just can't go that route. We can't go that route. So what we need to do is we need to open up We need to open up state lines. We need to get some competition going.
Yeah.
We need to eliminate these frivolous lawsuits.
Oh, yeah.
You can sue anybody for anything. I got sued for $3 million a few years ago on a real estate deal. I didn't even know I did something wrong. It was the bank from the buyer who was suing me because the buyer did something wrong, but they sue everybody. And the lawyer said, hey, that's just what we do. We sue people. And then we settle out of court because they know nobody wants to afford to go to court. Why do you think our healthcare system's so expensive?
Yeah.
Why do you think a drug company has to charge 40 or 50 bucks for something that should be 3 or 4? Because they know they're going to get sued tomorrow by the one person who has the side effect. So we need to work on this litigation thing. We definitely need to work on it. And then I'm going to be real quick because she's about to tap on my shoulder. Education, guys. We need to eliminate revisionism. We need to teach patriotism. We need to teach the Constitution. We need to teach our children what it's like to be an American. We need to put our statues back up. We need to fly our flags. We need to get out and be who we are, not who some idiot wants us to be. All right, so I could go on forever, and she'll attest to that. But remember, look me up, www.timhazeloforcongress.com. This isn't going to be easy. It's going to be a hard fight. I'm going to need your help, and I'm going to need your donations, and I'm going to need your support. So there's envelopes flying around, and thank you for your time, and God bless you, and God bless America.
I am Carolyn Eslick from the 39th District. Senator Wagoner and I are from the same district. And just for you folks that might not know, there are 2 representatives and 1 senator for each district. Senator and I were very blessed to be able to join the legislation, join Olympia at the same time, only a couple months apart. When seats were vacated, I took the first seat, which was the House of Representatives, and he took the Senate seat a couple months later. So we were thrown into it 3 years ago, and we have been swimming ever since. When he says we have not been representing you the last few months, it is true. We are so restricted now, and now that the campaign is open, now we have to be very careful not to combine any of our campaigning with our regular work, because we are working every day for you. They say it's a part-time job. Well, let me tell you what. If you take this position, it is not a part-time job if you are doing a good job. So I am here again running for the 39th District. And I want you to know that I am always available for you, always. And I'm going to give you my phone number as I did last week when I was here. And I had 2 of you call and ask me questions. And that's why I do that, because we want to make sure that you have the information. One of the most important things I want you to know is if you go onto the Snohomish County Republican Facebook page, you will be able to find out when the next rally is, right? Because we want you and all your friends to be here. The senator mentioned to you that on Friday, the Senate and the House supported it, sent in their proposed plan for the new session, for the special session, and it's really spelled out what needs to happen. You know, there was a period of time up until this point that people were calling me and emailing and saying, what are the Republicans doing? You are not helping our situation. We have tried, and we have tried, and we have tried. After the first 2 weeks, the governor's office refused to listen to anything we had to say. So this is our last-ditch effort to make sure that people understand that we are there to support you, and to be able to put a framework together so that we make sure that that money that was sent to us by the feds, and it was $2 billion, the governor has used $500 million of it so far. One of the proposals on our list is to make sure that $500 million go to our small businesses, like our Grow Washington businesses. We need to make sure that those mom and pop, and not any of the big corporations, not the Walmarts, not the Costco's, but our small hair salons and spas, and right, they're the ones that need this money to get themselves going. Yes, we do. Absolutely. to tell you that I support every one of you, even if you are not in my district. Tell me, raise your hand if you're in the 39th. Do you live in Sultan, Monroe, Arlington, Cedro-Woolley, Darrington? Yay, thank you so much. But remember, when we're down there, we vote for all of you. So that's why I come to these out of my district, because I am there to vote for you and to stand up for your property rights and your Second Amendment rights, all of the things that we stand for in the United States of America. Thank you very much for being here today, and we'll see you at the next one.
I see a lot of great signs out here. Open Washington. Support Adam. Absolutely, right there, I like that one a lot. Fear is the real virus. Our constitutional rights are essential. Essential. See, that's what this government has been trying to do to us, is to define what is essential and what is not essential. I'm a small business owner. I know what is essential for me, my family. Working, providing, feeding. We've got hair salons out there. We have bars out there. We have gyms out there. They are essential to their family. The CDC has set up guidelines for us all to follow. They didn't say require, they said follow. And we are smart people, aren't we? We can follow guidelines. We don't want to get sick either, do we? I know my wife, she's got an immune compromised system. I don't want her getting sick because it could not be good. But at the same time, she knows that I need to get out here and talk to you guys to say, we need to open our country because that's essential. Enough is enough. There was one thing, oh, Inslee. Okay, now we got it. He's non-essential. That's right. So last week I sat out here and I said, Congress is voting on two things right now. One was to allow the representatives to hand their vote off to one person. One person can represent 10 votes right now in the House of Representatives. You don't elect somebody to give their vote to somebody else, do you? No. If you elect me, guess what? I'm going back there, I'm going to vote for you. I'm representing you. But right now, the House of Representatives, which has 435 people in it, can make a vote on 44 votes. That's not the forefathers said. The forefathers said the government is to represent the people, not represent the people. The second thing they voted on was $3 trillion more of debt. We've already had $3 trillion. And you know what's happening is that there are states out there like Florida. They're opening up, and they're doing it with reason, and they're doing it with smarts. And people are back to work and feeding their families. That's what we need, is somebody to say, let's open. Now, I'm not saying we should say, you know, everybody flock to the beaches and everybody rush into the stores and get all together real tight and close and breathe on each other. No, we're saying use common sense. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. In fact, we like that. We're not even going to say no. We're saying yes. We want people to be safe. So what am I? Who am I? My name is Jeffrey Beeler. I sit on the city council out in Sultan. Carolyn Eslick was my mayor for a long, long time. Great. I am so glad she's down in Olympia representing us. I don't know what it is in Sultan, but there's something in the water. But at the same time, I'm a small business guy, a city council member. I represent the people that elect me, and that's what I'm going to do when I'm elected to the Congress here in November. So please go to my website, BeelerForCongress.org or .com.
And I know a bunch of other churches that are open too. Good. So we're rising up. I wish we would have rose up all together, but you know, as I've been saying for weeks and weeks, Governor Inslee is not keeping the church doors closed. It is pastors and church leadership. If you are a Christian, Talk to your church leadership. Talk to your pastor and encourage them to open up. The only thing that is preventing the opening of churches is fear. Now, my watch just stopped. So I got a cell phone and it has the time on it. So I'll try to be brief. But first I want to honor Jesus. Secondly, I would like to be to say, and I believe you agree with me, that we ought to be grateful for those that have died for our freedom. And furthermore, I know there's a lot of vets here. I know there's a lot of active duty here. And I want to tell you thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to recognize you and say thank you. And here's the thing. Just like those in the military and those that have lost their life for our freedom, they laid their life down for our independence. Died. See, for me, this isn't about Jay. This is about Jesus. For me, this isn't about Inslee. It's about independence. And the thing is, everybody who has fought and died and continues to fight for our country is doing so to win the battle of independence. And when I think of independence, I think of freedom, I think of liberty. And Jesus also died so that we might be free. So there's a common bond. There's a common bond between Jesus dying and for our freedom and all of the men and women that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom. And I'm telling you, both these freedoms as a U.S. citizen and the freedoms as a citizen of the kingdom of God and being able to effectively continue his message and ministry and mission is under threat. It's under threat. Uh-oh. And I'm telling you guys, listen, I'm here to hold the line.
Me too.
I'm here to hold the line. I believe you're here to hold the line. I'm here to protect the threshold so that the enemy does not cross it. I believe you're here to protect the threshold. And here's the enemy. The enemy is fear, and I went into this last time, so I'm not going to go into it, but 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind." Fear is going to cause us to fail to hold the line. Fear is going to cause us to fail to not allow the enemy to cross the threshold. Fear is literally going to cause us to give up the freedoms we value that people, many of you in here have fought for those freedoms.
Amen.
I'm here to hold the line. You're here to hold the line. We are all in this together.